Hey, welcome. Today we're going to talk about 5 free family history websites that you may be missing. Some of them you might know, but some of them you might not, and these are ones that really come in handy for me. They're a little bit more detailed. They're not the basics like Ancestry or something like that. I really hope these help you out in your genealogy research. I'm Aimee Cross, and I want to help you take your genealogy to the next level. So let's do it, all right? Number 1. So I'm starting with the U.S. Department of the Interior Bureau of Land Management. I can't say that. Anyway, there are a lot of different things there. A lot of people don't know. The website is glorecords.blm.gov. And this is why it's really awesome, okay? You're searching documents right here. So when you're searching for records here, it's kind of a combination of less is more and kind of a couple of other little tricks. So let me tell you how it works for me. Maybe you have some other thoughts, put them in the comments. I would love to hear them. I start in my state of where I'm looking. If it's a really unusual name, you can skip that and just go to the last name. But I'm going to go ahead and show you by state. So I'm going to go to Wisconsin because I have some family members that lived in Wisconsin. If I want to narrow it down by county, I can. If it's a common name like Smith, I want to narrow it down by county if I can, otherwise I'm going to have a ton of results. But I have this weird family name, Kinsley, K-U-E-N-Z-L-I, in Wisconsin, any county, and I'm going down here to search patents. I can also search by land description. I can add more information. I can click just search patentees, search warranties. But I'm going to leave all that blank and just search patents. And I have 2, a Robert Kinsley and a Fred Kinsley, both of which are part of my family members. They were in 2 separate counties. One was in Buffalo County, one was in Vilas County. One got their land patent in 1905. That's pretty late. The other in 1891, okay? Let me show you how these look so cool. So you click right here and you click on the accession number. And this gives you a bunch of information. This was a sale patent, a cash entry patent. So they weren't given the patent for military service. It'll tell you about that. And it'll tell you the document number of the patent, how many acres the patent was for, whether it's meet and bounds, which is an old way of measuring the land, it'll specify that. And if it was a military, it'll tell you his military rank up there too, by the way. But then down here, whoops, I'm moving that around. Then down here, you get this map of the United States with nothing on it, but people don't know. There's a trick. Click on right here, the map, and it'll take you and show you exactly where we're talking. So this is just showing the township due to data limitations. So I'm going to show you a couple other things and then we'll try another one where I can maybe narrow this in a little bit more. But don't stop there, okay? There's more on this website. So I go up here to patent image right here and I get to see a picture of the patent. Now on the first page, they said that they've been having some trouble pulling up these patents and I've had that happen. If it doesn't come up, refresh the page and usually you'll get a chance to see the actual image of the patent. It does take a while because they're really big and depending on the speed of your computer or your internet connection, it can take quite a while. So just give it some time to work. While we're waiting, you can also click on the certified copies and order a certified copy of the patent. But you don't need to do that. You can download an image of the patent for free, not having to pay a cent. It's not a certified copy, but I don't care. All right, I had to refresh the page. But here we have an image of the patent, and you can see right here I can download this image. Robert Kinsley of Buffalo County, Wisconsin. And he went to the land office at La Crosse. And I can just scroll up and take a look at this. And then it gives me the description of the land, all right, containing 40 acres. And it has at the bottom the signature. You know, this is not the signature of Benjamin Harrison, by the way. This is a signature by the land office person, but Benjamin Harrison was the president at the time. Kind of interesting to know if you didn't know that. So anyway, that's an actual image of the original patent. I love this, all right? But we're not done yet. Go over to related documents, and that gives you even more information. This tells you the people that owned land around this. See, he had the northeast quarter of the southwest quarter. This guy had the west half of the southwest quarter. All right, this guy had the east half of the northwest quarter. So this gives you a list of his neighbors that got patents. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that these are the people that lived there. Sometimes people got a patent and then quickly sold the land. Woohoo! Kind of good information to have. But we're not done yet, all right? Go up here to surveys. Click on the plat image right over here. This gives you some other information. Skip that. Go to the plat image, and this will give you, oh, they're having trouble with this too. Let's refresh and see if it works. So we're going to do another one really quick. All right, now we're going to go back to search documents, and I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to look for somebody in Kansas, and I'm going to use another family name, Filer, which is much more common. Again, I'm not going to specify the county. And if I have a first name, I can put it in there, but sometimes they used initials or abbreviations of the first name, so less is more. I don't put it in. And now I'm searching patents because, see, you just don't get that many records. So here I have 6 different patents for filers in Kansas. And it gives me the county right here. So let's just pick one. Walter Filer, right here. I'm going to look at his patent. He filed the patent. This was the authority. That's not when he got the patent. That's when the law came out that he could get a patent. And that was in 1820. He went to the Wichita Land Office. He took 160 acres. Now, again, if I click this map, this is still the township, all right, which is really frustrating. In other times, probably when I'm not filming this, when I turn off my camera, this will work. But they'll actually narrow it down to the actual square, which is the section that he owned the land. So you can look at the roads that are around them, because this is a current day map, and you can scroll out. And you can, that was too far. You can scroll here. We've got the Kansas Turnpike right here. If I scroll in a little bit closer, I see the rivers that are going through there. And then we have a highway, K15 right here, and another highway there. I can narrow in this area by doing that. And when you have the section, you can even do that further. But let me show you that other information. We're going to that related documents, and I'm going to go to those surveys, and I want to look at the original survey right here. Of course, when I'm filming a video, they're having all kinds of problems. None of my surveys are working today. So this is an example of a land survey that I've gotten previously. I've never had this trouble before. Of course, it happens while I'm trying to do a video. But this is a great example of, these are the old surveys that were done originally. So there's a couple things that I really love about them. One, sometimes it's hard to find maps of 1850 or 1880. And this gives you a great map of the exact area where your family lived. It shows you the names of rivers at the time. It shows you a lot of great information. So love those plat images. And sometimes I use those to map, they give me that section grid. And I've used those maps, that section grid, because they're public information. They're the government's, it's free access to anybody. You can republish images of those plat maps. And I'll use that to diagram where different family members lived, or when I'm looking for maybe other people that lived in the area. I use that a lot as my map. And then I put it on something, and then I just draw in the other information that I want to add to that map, like specifically who owned this quarter, who owned that quarter. Anyway, really cool. All right, let's move on to number 2, small town newspapers. This is free. Small town newspapers is awesome. They have papers that are even to current date. And so a lot of the newspaper sites cost. They do have papers that go back to like about the 1850s, but they don't have as many of them. Sometimes those little tiny papers give you really great information. So if you're doing genealogy research, they give you some suggestions. Start by selecting a state, or see articles from a particular time period. All right, I'm going to go by state. And I can see the small town papers that they have in a particular state. And like, for instance, in Kansas, we have these little tiny papers. And I'll just pick the Prairie Post. And I get to see this. This is a current paper. This is from 2018, okay? And I get to see images of that paper. So pretty cool, pretty great way to find stuff. I love newspapers. It's a fun site. It's one that a lot of people don't know about, and you don't know what you're going to find in it. It's really great for obituaries for people that have passed away more recently, because those small town papers might write a larger obituary, and that can be really wonderful to have. All right, number 3, we're going to go to iPums USA. And you don't have to log in to use it for this Enumerator Instructions. The website is usa.ipums.org, but I can right here go to an enumerator instructions. Plus I can do a web page search with a Command F on a Mac. I really have used this a lot to help me out in census records that I don't understand, that I want to understand more clearly what they're meaning by a particular column and what the options were as to what they put within it, okay? Enumerator instructions are something that every genealogist needs to be thinking of when they're looking at census records. All right, so that's my favorite place to go to for enumerator instructions, and it's not one that many people do. And maybe you have another favorite. If you do, put it in the comments. I'd love to hear yours. But enumerator instructions, big win. You need to know that. All right, number 4. This is an awesome website. David Rumsey, if you haven't heard of his map collection, they are wonderful. He has created a wonderful collection, and he has made his maps free to the public. You can use them if you're publishing a book for your family, or if you have a blog page or something like that. You can use his maps and you're not going to get nailed on copyright for it. So thank you, David Rumsey. He has just added a new feature. It's talked about right here, search text on maps. This is huge. It's one thing to be looking at an old map. It's another thing to be able to search by somebody's name. Do you get what I'm talking about here? This is really big, and this is very new. It's something that they've been working on for about a year, and I applaud them for doing it. Let me tell you a little bit more about it. So David Rumsey right here says he's got over 125,000, almost 126,000 maps and images. What? Now you can search in a couple of ways. You can search by the collection right here. So if you're looking for a map of, let's say, a small town in the Midwest, you can type in that information and find a particular map of a location. If you want to search by text on maps now, they've changed this. This is fairly new. You can search right here, search by text on maps, or you can do it right down here as well. I'm going to do it down here because it's a little bit bigger and I want you to be able to see better. So I'm going to search by my surname Filer. Let's see what we get. Look at all of these examples of Filer that are coming up, and you can see these are pictures of the name on a map. Now, many times when people were doing maps, they would write the people that own the property, and this is what I'm looking for, right? All right, so here's the Filer, and here I see the little yellow highlighted thing of where the name Filer is on this map. Let's take a look at this map and see what we got. And they've even highlighted it for me and narrowed it in. Now, this is not the name of a plot of land. This is Filer's school. It's not what I was hoping for, but it's still kind of cool. So this is pretty amazing. I can't wait to see where this goes. AI is changing the world, isn't it? Let me show you how you can search for a particular area on David Rumsey's maps. So if I want to search the collection, I'm up here at the top this time, and I want to search in Kansas. I want to search for Madison, Kansas. And I want to search by map, and I'm going to click go. Now this other result for Madison, Kansas has got me interested. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to zoom in right here. This is the stock farm of J.H. Harris, 6 miles west of Madison, Greenwood County, Kansas. What a beautiful picture. Let's zoom back out again. That's pretty amazing. And then they have a picture of the Greenwood County Courthouse. What a lovely drawing. But I have family that lived in Kansas by the name of Harris in Madison. So my great-grandfather was Thomas D. Harris, but he had a number of brothers, and I'm going to have to look and see if J.H. Harris is one of them. I know he had a brother John, but his middle name was not H. Wow, I may have just found a picture of one of my ancestors or their siblings' houses. Kind of cool. I didn't know that was there. Something for me to do today. All right, now you can see here that if I type in something like New York, New York, where we're going to have a whole lot more results, we're going to see all sorts of results here that apply to New York, New York. And if I look over here on the side, I can change it to an atlas map, a text page, a county atlas, or there's more choices, boundary maps, automobile, commerce. Oh my goodness, look at an earthquake map, tons of different types of maps, and I can narrow that down here. but I can also go to who created the map, or even better, when. So if I'm looking for a map right around the turn of the century, here's 261 that were published around 1899, okay? Wow, what a great resource to have there. All right, let's move on to number 5, the last one that I have for you today, the Law Library of the Advancing Genealogist. This is a blogger, and I love this page. I think it's super helpful because when you are researching, particularly as you move back further in time, you really have to understand the laws to know what records to search for, where you might find them, and why something might be as it is. It's so hard to find the laws of a time period that you're looking for. It's so hard. So this page's link is in the webpage below, and I just love it. Well done, well done. If you click on one of these, you got to narrow it by state, but if you click on like Arizona, you'll find historic Arizona statutory law and then historic Arizona case law. If I click on the statutory law, it's going to talk to me about different laws that came into place at different time periods and where I can find the example of that law. Well done. Love this page. If you knew how hard it was sometimes to find this information, I actually think this might be one of the best in this group, and that may sound kind of weird. But the reason why it's the best is you really do need to understand the law. I did a video with Judy Russell talking about the importance of understanding the laws to be a better genealogist. Hang tight and I'll give you a link to that. So I want to wrap things up by letting you know that these are some of the ones that I think are maybe not quite as well known by other people, but can be really helpful to you in your genealogy research. I hope that you find them useful to you. If you haven't already, you can support the channel by donating on Patreon up there or through the webpage. I've also started a new program for members of Aimee's Crew, a YouTube channel membership, where not only do you get the free handouts that I have on a monthly basis, but you also get a free monthly live stream. You can either be there for the live stream or check it out later, and you get an opportunity to watch that later. I'm going to be building my family tree right there with you. You can ask me questions along the way on that live stream. So that may be of interest to you as well. Information in the description about that. And if you want that video from Judy Russell, click on that right over there. That's a great video talking about the importance of the law. Have a great day. Thank you so much.